I'm in season 3. Well, I like to do my little check-ins on a scale of, I don't know. No, not on a scale of anything. Are you more, at a glance, are you more in, less in? What's the current lay of the land?
I think it's a stupid question.
Okay.
Which is what I think politicians should reply with more often, rather than averting. I think, yeah, I think I'm at the state. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it. I'll say that every episode.
God.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it.
So you don't think when you talk about rewatchability?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not as rewatchable as any half-hour sitcom or whatever, because you could never throw it on. And you can't throw it on to show people. You need to do it all. In your entire life, you never think you will sit down and do this again.
I would say the only other scenario would be if I'd moved into a new house with a partner, and we'd got a little cinema room, and every night let's start a binge series together. I might do it then. Get your little make an old fashioned and have some popcorn or whatever, and sit and watch Mad Men.
Famous combination: old fashions and popcorn.
Sweet and salted, of course.
No, Jesus Christ, get a grip. Just wait. Why would you? No.
No, it's like no, both of them together. It brings out the sweet notes even more. It's like when you put salt in cake and cookies, to like salted caramel. I
don't know. That works for me. I like a salted caramel or a really nice salted caramel chocolate, or even a chocolate with sea salt. I used to run the fair trade store at my high school, rather famously, and
I imagine so.
And it was basically Rushmore. We haven't. Well, no. By the time this is released, you'll have seen Rushmore. However, at current, you haven't seen Rushmore. I was basically just Max Fisher in Rushmore, as we will find out when we watch Rushmore. This is season 3. I unequivocally, I think it starts excellently and just gets better every season, I have to say. I think, if anything, this season is a bit of a 2/2 season. I think the other one, the first 2 seasons sort of had, season 1 has the ongoing plot line of the reveal of Dick Whitman, and is coming to learn the entire context of Dick Whitman. Obviously, this season has that also.
Oh yes.
And the second season, the delusion of their marriage, but they come back for this season, and it all works out great. No, and
but not for long.
But not for long. However, this season does feel a little bit like 2 halves, and I think it's mainly because we only get Susan Farrell, the delightful English teacher, in the. I always forget that they only start shacking up in like in the final 4 episodes.
Yeah,
we do not spend a long time with Susan, which I think is a great shame, because I think she's absolutely wonderful.
It never crossed my mind, but as soon as it started happening, I thought, of course, Don Draper is the sort of guy that sleeps with his kid's teacher. Of course, that was a story they were always going to explore.
Is that the ultimate line?
Yeah, it's like that scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Oh,
What scene? What scene?
Okay.
But Jane Lynch hits on him.
Yeah.
Yes, because also we have a crossing of the boundary with oh God, is it 7/20th? No, sorry, Souvenir with Pete. Of all the people Pete's going to have an affair with, he wants to have an affair with the au pair next door that they're going to see every single day. And the dad there, he slaps him on the back and he goes, "Come on, you're going to step out, go to other people." But overall, Will, although you never think you'll rewatch it, you're enjoying it. You like it. What was your overall opinion of season 3?
By far the best season so far. I hope you agree. I was hooked this season. I really enjoyed it. For those at home who aren't involved with mine and Tom's daily messages to each other, which is everyone, unless you're tapping us, because we are quite famous in the world of social media.
We were in the Levinson. We're going to do our own Levinson inquiry. What was the Hugh Grant thing? I only know one person with a plummy voice, and that's my secretary, Peggy, and she has a plummy voice, and then Ian Hislop just taking it to do just stand-up comedy, basically.
Like you, we also have a secretary called Becky.
Yeah, no, I said Peggy.
Well, I apologize, I misheard you.
We do have a secretary called Peggy.
We did.
No, we don't. We have a secretary called Becky. The lovely.
What was I going to say? But yeah, I've kept delaying this filming of this episode.
Yes, you
but believe it or not, I finished it a couple of days ago.
So you see, this is the thing.
Yeah.
So another thing that people don't know is that first season, I said to basically the entire scheduling of these episodes, because Will is very busy at college. I'm very busy myself, but I dare say I have better time management skills. I have far better time management skills than Will. And I basically scheduled it for once every 14 days. So that all he has to do is watch one 45-minute episode a day. That's all. Which some might say isn't a Herculean task. But when we did the first season, day by day went by and I went, "Oh, are you liking it?" Because I was very anxious. I was like, "Are you liking it? Are you liking it?" And he was like, "Yeah, really am." I thought, okay, that's very vague. No descriptors in there at all. It felt like a court transcript. I was there, yes. I knew her. I knew of the relationship. And then you marathon them all in the final couple of days.
Yes.
When we ended season 2, you were sort of saying, "I want to watch more." Are you excited for season 4? Because I also finished a while back, and I'm really excited to just start season 4.
I'm very excited for I'm more excited for the newer series than I have been yet, because obviously it's a reboot in a way.
It is a real
very excited for. Yeah.
Or you should.
Very excited for.
I
mean, sorry to blow episode 13 already, but when you put them all into that hotel room and they're just doing their thing, you think, yeah.
And then Shadow Rover starts playing. What an incredible goddamn episode. Well, no, I don't need to blow my load. I think, we'll get there. But astounding. I don't remember an episode of Peep Show ever having 9.7 on IMDb. But anyway, we'll talk about that when we get there. We do rankings here. We rank our top 10 favorite episodes of the season, cutting 3, seeing as they are episodes of 13 each. When we get to season 7, we will be doing that as the full 14, even though it was 2 blocks of 7, blah, 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 blah. And then in the middle, we will do some little rankings of our own little subcategories. I have to say, Will, I'm pretty happy with our rankings so far. season 1, season 2, I'm pretty happy with.
Good.
When it comes to the ultimate rankings ever, we have our good rule of only taking through the top 2 episodes, which I think is a great rule because it shows a breadth.
It's a great rule until you factor in the fact that we compromise a lot on this show.
It is true, because I'm looking now at our season 1, and The Wheel, for instance, which usually tops top 10, yeah, The Wheel, will not be in our top 10 Mad Men episodes of all time, which I don't know how that sits with me currently, but but
is The Wheel the one that refers to his little spinning thing where he does the speech?
And he sits on the cat, and he sits on the stairs, and anyway. I need to save my tears because we haven't got to Shut the Door and Have a Seat yet, and that's a big tier 1 in the Thomas Carruthers household. And spoiler alert, it's only gotten worse since a big breakup. I used to watch it and go, wouldn't it be terrible to have a big breakup with somebody you were madly in love with? Oh wait, it is terrible. And they got kids. Will, what are your 3 cuts?
I've cut. Oh, and you'll like this. I've got names. I've got names for you.
Good. All we need now is for you to know what the songs are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've got my song. And I double checked. Okay. So I've cut in last place. I've cut Souvenir.
Okay. I haven't cut Souvenir, so we'll talk about Souvenir later.
Okay. I've also cut Love Among the Ruins.
I have also cut Love Among the Ruins. Very nice. I think, again, right. Can you agree, without any goddamn affidavits where you say, oh, I won't ever rewatch it. Can you agree that even the ones that we're cutting now are just top class episodes in their own right?
I would say, yeah, this series 3 especially, there's some may have been less busy than others and less, more your typical conversation in the office, or make a few deals here, make a few deals there. But everyone has had that moment where it suddenly goes, oh, okay, here's a bit of something, here's a bit of that. And so it does feel less.
For instance, Love Among the Ruins is a lovely episode. You've got, I think the Don support in that episode is a little bit, not lesser, but a little bit less interesting. It's about making Penn Station, and he's working, and we get to basically learn the relationship he has with Wayne, which obviously informs this entire season with the Brits are coming, the British are coming.
Yeah.
But for me, Love Among the Ruins is a great episode for our time with Peggy. And she gets to have a one-night stand, and we know that she's now reclaiming her sexuality after, well, presumably, this is the first time she's had sex since Pete. They can't have full sex because he doesn't have a Trojan.
Doesn't have a sheath.
He doesn't have a sheath. But she's got all the power in the world. There's other things we can do. And it's just a great episode for Peggy. I do enjoy it, but it did get cut. Your other cut, Will?
Yeah, my other cut is The Color Blue.
Okay, that's another one that's in for me. So that's not a cut. Your third cut, Will?
Oh, that is my third cut.
Oh yes.
If you pay attention to me.
You sound like Alex Forrest in Fatal Attraction. I wouldn't be ignored, Dan. I cut Love Among the Ruins.
Yes.
I also cut 723, which is the Eclipse episode, which we'll get to because it'll be on yours. And actually, I also cut The Fog.
The Fog.
The pregnancy, which we will get to, and we'll get to when we get to. You just did your cuts, so at number 10, I have The Arrangements.
The Arrangements. Okay. At number 10, I have The Gypsy and the Hobo.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so we won't be talking about The Gypsy and the Hobo for a long time.
I gathered that.
Is this a Jeremy's mother situation?
Oh, is The Gypsy and the Hobo regarded as one of the greatest?
I don't. It's
got 9.2, I suppose.
Well, we'll get there when we get there. Where do you have The Arrangements, Will? Can we talk about The Arrangements now?
Do I have The Arrangement? I have The Arrangements at that's very high up for me.
Okay,
Very high up.
Ooh, I like it. At number 9, I have the color blue.
Okay, well, let's talk about the color blue. Yeah.
Very enjoyable for me because I just love Susan Farrell, and I think every time Don is happy, I'm happy, and so it's delightful for him to be happy. And this is the introduction of not just the intimacy of their relationship, but also her brother for an episode. And so we learn that he cares deeply for this Susan. It's not just a good old bit of romping, although they clearly are enjoying their romping. He cares for her. And also in that tandem, the subplot with Susan's brother is again all about Don. And he knows what it's like to have no chance in life. He's not epileptic, but he knows what it's like to have no chance in life, and he loves giving those chances. And so yeah, it sort of ticks big Don boxes for me. I guess and also in the background of this is Betty finding Dick Whitman and finding the box. And
what a scene.
What a scene. And then it comes to nothing, which I think is maybe you can describe this. Were you shocked that it came to nothing in the color blue?
Yeah, I expected them to have it out there and then, but they seem to have settled that behind the scenes. Yeah,
and then she just puts the key back in the thing, and it's just forgotten about. And she thinks that she can live with it. And we'll find out in the very next episode, she cannot live with it in the slightest.
Yeah. I thought something very different was going to happen with this episode. For some reason, I was adamant that it wasn't actually her brother. Okay. And it was actually like her lover or her husband. And they were a strange swinger couple that were trying to, because he was always like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not meant to be here." And it's always, "Oh, you're interrupting us. Oh, I'll leave."
It makes a lot of sex jokes.
I'll go and get the camera, honey. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like Dan in I'm Alan Partridge.
Sex people and sex people. We also have Lane finding out. I know you always say this about there being setup episodes, and I always say that the setup episodes themselves are great and have lots else going on in it, but this does have multiple setups. It has Lane finding out about the what's going to happen with Putnam, Powell, and Lowe, and so Lane's dealing with that, and also just an incredible ending with the 40th anniversary party, and that cold look from Betty when he kisses her on the cheek. And also this, I love Roger's speech, because at this point, him and Roger are done, which I presume you were not happy with.
Yeah, at all.
But Roger can turn on the charm like that. He can do 3 minutes and make it sound so sincere. And I do think a part of it is sincere. They are obviously good friends. He didn't want to end the friendship. But, there is that sincerity there. However, it's all for show. And everybody cheers for Don, and Betty just feels nothing. At this moment, Michael, I feel nothing for you at all. I never thought that could happen, Michael. Very, very reminiscent of Kay Adams. Do you have anything else to say? Well, you don't. It was one of your cuts.
Yes. I mean, I think if they explored the plot line I suggested, it would have been easily top tier.
You do love swingers. Here's an IMDb trivia. Don helping Suzanne's troubled brother could be seen as a poignant attempt to do for him what he tragically didn't do for his own brother, Adam. And this is obviously the thing that haunts him.
Yeah. So
long, which he finally confesses in this to Betty. Sort of as no, I think it's an honest admission, but we'll talk about it in your number 10. My number 10 is the arrangements. Your number 10 is The Gypsy and the Hobo. My number 9 was The Colour Blue. Your number 9.
My number 9 is episode 9, Wee Small Hours.
Small Hours. Poor Sal. Poor Sal. It's just horrible. I'll not ruin anything, but one of my big hard nominations, I don't like that. One of my big nominations for season standout is Sal. I think
he's by far one of my favorites. He's great. He lights up my screen every time.
And because we have moments of happiness with him, with the whole Bye Bye Birdie commercial.
Yeah.
Then we have that painfully tragic scene where his wife catches on. And then we have the culmination of his closeted nature and the interior pain that has haunted him his entire life, and the payoff of Out of Town, with Don seeing it, and we think, and it's just another reason to love Don. He doesn't say a thing, and whether that's because he's not homophobic at all, or whether it's because he likes Sal and wants to keep this thing that could ruin his entire life secret.
Yeah, it was. It reminds me of the bit, obviously, when he gets fired and he goes into Don's office, and Don's like, but nothing happened, did it? Because nothing could have happened because you were married. It's not him being disgusted, it's him saying, okay, I'm being your lawyer now. I'm helping you word this because I want you to keep this job.
But he does have you people, which is the kicker. No, Don. And right, I'm going to ruin something for you, Will, and I've not ruined anything yet. I'm going to ruin one thing. This is it for Sal. We never see Sal again. I know. See, this is what, because I want to have this discussion, which I think is what makes the show work so well. Because in reality,
we wouldn't see him again.
In reality, we would see him again. In TV show land, he comes up again in a few seasons. They need a new art director. Okay, let's get Sal back, because everybody loves Sal, and everybody loves Brian Black's performance as Sal. But this is it for Sal, and it always would be. And it's bitter and it's tragic. We don't know what happens to him after this moment. The way that we leave him is in a reclusive, what we presume is Central Park. That was usually the sort of lower, darker corners of Central Park were used by closeted gay men in that era to have gay sex, and would be raided by police all the time. Or police would sexually assault them and get away with it because you're not going to confess you're gay, even though you've been raped. It's the tragic end of Sal on the show, but it's brilliant, so well done. With not F. Lee Bailey, he was the juror in the OJ trial. Lee Jr. Who, again, you wouldn't necessarily expect is going to take a pass at Sal.
Yeah.
And again, it's the force of it, because in that first season, there's a great scene with the drink where we think, oh, maybe Sal could go with this. This all seems quite nice.
Yeah.
It would be private, and you could get away with it. But it's forceful from the start, and it's all manipulated in the business world.
It's an interesting thought that if Sal was straight and he'd still have come on to him and assaulted him like that, it would have been the same story.
I don't think it would, because I think Don would help him. I think the only reason this story ends the way it does is because Don knows that he's gay. And he has that moment of homophobia of, you people, you just can't keep it in your pants, can you? And, you cheat on, he says it so many times, being hypocritical. Don, we love Don, but he's so cruel in his, well, as we'll talk about in, is it No, it's shut the door and have a seat. When he finds out about Henry,
Yeah.
and you haw.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to it. You know. Oh God, what an incredible show. This is where we leave Sal. Also in this episode, we have a lovely bit of Conrad Hilton, but I feel we'll talk about him later on. So, Will, is there anything else you want to say about Sal now that he's about to leave us?
No, because we've got other episodes with Sal in to talk about.
And he's still around.
Yeah.
That's your Wee Small Hours is your number 9. My number 8 is the other Sal episode, or at least the other Sal-centric episode. It's Out of Town.
My number 8 is The Fog, which you cut.
Which I did cut. So we will talk about The Fog now, and we'll get to Out of Town when we get to it on your list. I think this has the only bad scene in Mad Men.
Are we on about the dream scene?
The caterpillar. What the fuck is
the
happening
CGI
there?
Caterpillar.
The terrible CGI. And I think January Jones, I know that the whole thing is that she's, ice cold or whatever, but that's not true about her performance lots of times. I think she's just plain.
I'd have to agree with you there, because I've come to learn now. I actually I don't like Betty, because she's very, very self-important, and she.
Our love for Betty comes from one factor, and one factor alone: the fact that we see what Don does to her.
Yeah.
And the fact that Don's fucking anything that... No, he's not fucking anything that moves, but he's around with a lot of different women. And so we have empathy for Betty naturally. But Betty is a real piece of work, and she is cruel.
Yeah.
And I always thought, I'll say this, I always thought, because on my first watch, I thought, oh, Betty's so... I don't like Betty at all. And I personally... in myself thought, is this, internalized misogyny? Is it because I'm rooting for Dawn? Is this just because she's, the wife that's getting in the way of the guy that we love? But then the amount of women who I've talked with who hate Betty too, and I realized, no, that it's the character herself. I don't have to reckon with any misogyny. Because she wouldn't mind me saying this. My mum said, she said, all my life I've had to deal with Bettys who have had everything and look like that and get everything, and it's never enough for them. And so I do. Yeah, she's a piece of work. Wait, what episode are we on? We're on The Fog, so we won't talk about Henry just yet. So she's having a baby. However, it is a tough cut, because I do think this also has lots and lots of excellent stuff in it. I love Dawn with the prison guards.
That scene's great.
Really interesting stuff. I love the rest of the pregnancy stuff. I really like the dream sequence where she goes home and we finally meet her mother, and we go, okay, there we go. That's the that's the root of it all. And the bizarre, and obviously at this point, Jean has died, and the bizarre image of him brushing the blood and not recognizing her. I really think that works well, and the caterpillar is just a goddamn...
It was interesting that, because it almost seemed like his dementia had stuck with him into the afterlife, which was really sad.
Well, as somebody with a family member who's, slowly dying of dementia, it's not passed yet, but I imagine it'll be easier once he's passed, but it's going to take, 10 years he's been slowly dying of dementia. It's going to take some time, I think, for all of us to think of him as he was. Yeah. So the immediacy of the death and then the birth, that's completely understandable, that she still has in her head this vision of a man she loves who doesn't know her, and sees her as her mother. And in so many, obviously it's the disease, but it just brings home how much like her mother Betty is. And I feel like the ghost of Elizabeth Hofstadt hangs over Betty the entire show in ways that you'll come to learn also. Yeah, and in this dream sequence we meet her, and she's foreboding, and
she's not very nice.
She's not very nice, and we get it. And January Jones does such an excellent job immediately becoming a child again.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth. Your mouth's agape, and then she just sits there like a child immediately. Wonderful stuff. And again, oh no, sorry, I've got the wrong episode.
Beg your pardon.
Got the wrong episode there. And also lots of great Pete stuff with what they refer to as the Negro Market, and it's something very interesting in the Pete Campbell character is that you'd immediately, because we love to hate Pete, even though I think at this point around season 3, you like Pete as much as anybody. I think everybody's flawed.
That moment happened for me when he was in his dressing gown.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. When Trudy kisses him. Oh, yeah. What a goddamn show. Not when, but Trudy tries to have sex with him and he breaks down crying because he's cheated on her. Not that one. Not that part. We don't like Pete there. But I think, and also, not really a spoiler, but obviously we will be around in 1968 and Martin Luther King will die. And Pete's one of the only people who's going, this is really, really terrible. This is a really terrible thing. Which you
would not expect from Pete. I would expect Pete to be racist.
That's the thing, and that's why he's an interesting character.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get to My Old Kentucky Home. But look at who is laughing and look at who is astounded by Roger's blackface routine. Don is disgusted, and I think that's blackface and also his hatred of Roger. But Pete is flabbergasted that he's doing this. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. God damn it. It's just an incredible, best show ever made. Anything else about the fog, Will?
That's it.
The fog does have one moment that stuck with me for a very long time, and I think obviously a big part of the show is Med's mental health in a way, and what we keep secret, and how that, depression and all the secrets that Don has traveled with his entire life. That's, I guess it's a meme in the Mad Men community of we all love it when he cries and when he gives something back, because it's that release that, is still bad nowadays. Never mind 1963. Yeah. And I think the moment that I'm referring to is when he's with the prison guard, and that prison guard has shown his complete self to Don. He's confessed things. He's shown his pain and his worry about what will come of this birth. And then the day after, Don sees him again and he just ignores him. The prison guard ignores him because he is ashamed of what he's shown, and maximize that by him being a prison guard and a very, very, very masculine and very, very brutish job. Lovely little touch. My number 7 was Wee Small Hours. We're not talking about my number 8, Out of Town, because we'll get to that when we get to when you have it. What do you have at number 7?
Number 7, I've got My Old Kentucky Home.
Old Kentucky Home. I have that at number 5, so we'll get to that in a little bit of time. Will, what do you have at number 6?
Number 6, I have The Grown-Ups.
Okay, that's another one that we'll wait on. Number 6, I have Souvenir, which was one of your cuts.
Yes.
Let's go to Italy. Doesn't it just work for you in the world, just going to Italy?
I knew you'd love this. He's taking her to Italy and it's all romantic and it's I maybe that fueled me cutting it, because I thought Tom's gonna love this. This is Tom's ideal. I mean, he wants to live this.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. There's a great. This is 40 is a pretty bad film. No, it's not. It's a fine film. But there's a great scene or 10-minute sequence where the married couple with 2 kids go on a holiday, and for 10 minutes they are so happy because and it's like another honeymoon, and they remember why they were together in the first place. And then they come home and the kids rush out, and then all of a sudden it's back to normal. That's this for an hour, for 47 minutes. Because you really do remember those glory days of Betty and Don. And
that bit when they're role playing.
Oh, excellent!
That's a wonderful scene.
What are they saying about me? She's got a cigarette. Hey, Americano. Leave it alone. And yeah, they fit into it so brilliantly, because I think in many ways their entire relationship has been a show. They can do romance so easily because there's lots of love there. I do believe that. Maybe more so on Don's side. Yeah, but Souvenir going to Italy, meeting Conrad Hilton, taking him to Italy. Did you like Conrad Hilton? Well,
at first.
I wanted him on the moon. Sorry, what? Yeah, this is one of the only times where we get a real life person.
Yeah.
Conrad Hilton obviously is a real life person. And I was listening to the audio commentary tracks as I do. And yeah, everybody thought, oh, that's the best. Because obviously nobody's going to ever make a movie about Conrad Hilton. I mean, they might do. But even the secretary, people were ringing Matthew Weiner up going, that's the secretary. That's exactly how she was. How did you know all this? And it just shows the impeccable levels of research that go into this show. Souvenir also has, as we were talking about, Pete with the au pair.
Yes. Bit creepy.
Yeah, bit odd. They do. Have I told about this yet? I call it the Mad Men hand on the hair. Now, it's a trademark because a lot of these men have sexual advances on women that are very, if not forceful, out of the blue. At maximum forceful, at minimum out of the blue. And every time, and especially with Dom, and every single time it happens, within 5 seconds, the woman puts her hand on the back of the guy's head to show that she's into it.
Yeah.
That happens every single time.
You've just reminded me of Peggy and Duck. That happens.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's not, and I think it's mainly because it's a studio show and they can only show 10 seconds of sex, a bit of fumbling, and then they have to cut away. I think if more time could be shown, then I think they would go to greater lengths to show.
Sure.
Well, well, Souvenir won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Hairstyling for a single camera series. And you can understand why, because of Betty's marvelous little poppy up do.
Well, that's the correct term.
Poppy up BI. But no, I love how Pete's au pair story ends with him just breaking down, crying.
Yeah.
He just cannot lie to her. Terrific stuff. Also, I guess the context. What I love Italy. It's lovely. But what really solidifies this episode for me as a number 6, and it's not like it's the best episode ever, but is a number 6 is the bookends. Is that the Henry Francis stuff before they go to Italy, which consists of him coming through for her and then making yet another veiled passeter, and then her going, no, I'm going to really work with Dom. We're going to go to Italy and we're going to shag like rabbits and have a great time, and then we'll come back and things will change. Of course, things are never going to change. And that's what that lovely bookend is, of him giving her the bracelet. And great, now I'll have something to remember the time we went to Italy. And it's a souvenir. That's obviously where the title comes from. And that's all it is. People have these little souvenirs and these little trinkets that you think mean anything, and all they do is remind you of a happiness. They don't actually bring you happiness forever. And it's pretty tragic, actually, I think. And I think if we're looking at, so that's episode 8, there's no way that concluding that. What was it, episode 13, where you realized that Don and Betty were actually going to get a divorce?
No, it is when she told him that she didn't love him.
At this moment, Michael, I keep quoting Kay from Godfather Part 2, but so yeah, episode.
Because I still thought there was nothing would have happened because of the way that they acted around the whole Dick reveal. Oh, not that sort of Dick reveal. Yeah, I the way they did that, I was like, oh, well, she seems fine with it for now.
Yeah,
but
it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. Well, because we've seen these sort of huge blow-ups before. We saw
but
it.
The thing is, he's done worse.
Well, this is the thing, right? I have had Okay, are we doing no? Right, no. We'll save this for Gypsy and the Hobo.
Okay.
But this is. I'll bring my ex up. This was one of the it wasn't a real argument. It was just a debate. But this was one of the biggest sticking points we ever had.
Ooh.
She really saw herself as a Betty. She always liked Betty.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there we go. And so all this sort of Betty hate, she would always go, what do you mean? Betty's lovely. And I'd go, I don't know about that. But, well, as Will knows, I think a lot of things are making sense. But we will get to the whole reveal of Dick Whitman then. It is now time. We are halfway through. My 10 to 6 was the arrangements, the colour blue, out of town, wee small hours souvenir. Your 10 to 6 was Gypsy and the Hobo, wee small hours, the fog, my old Kentucky home, and the grown-ups. It's time for our midway point. Will,
it is.
Let's talk about season standouts. We've touched on Sal. I really think it's tragic that we don't get any more of him, but I think it's a wonderful send-off for him in this season. Suzanne Farrell, I really enjoyed, as we'll talk about in culmination when we talk about the Gypsy and the Hobo. Did you like Suzanne as a love interest for Don?
Is there more of it? Okay, yes.
No, actually.
Oh, no.
Do you actually want me to answer these questions? This is the real question. No, this is it for Suzanne. We never see Suzanne again.
See, and I think, okay. Yeah, I think, as you mentioned earlier, the fact that it was only half a season's worth of Suzanne.
But it feels like so much more.
Yeah, it does.
I think it feels like a summer affair. And I think a lot of this season, actually, even though it still spans a year, feels the heat of summer and the impulse of summer. Souvenir, My Old Kentucky Home, these are all episodes based around heat. And I think Suzanne is the ultimate heat. I mean, how do we meet her? The maypole dance. And he touches the grass and he's like, oh, this is what coming home feels like. When does she first, even though she has been flirting with him and he's been flirting with her, when does she first say, you've been flirting with me? It's at the eclipse, which we'll get to. These big summery things that anyway.
Was there actually an actual eclipse on that day of that year?
They Google. They do more than Google. Well, they look at weather reports to see if it's raining. So yes, there was an eclipse on that day. They so precise. And I do think, you know, some people could say, what's the point? Who's going to notice that it's raining? But I do think it is a realist. You can feel the work that they're doing. And even if you don't know what was on the TV at that hour, you have a confidence in the show that, yeah, okay, that was on. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I think the biggest thing is that in costuming, how many shows do you see where people wear the same costumes? In real life, we wear the same, 10 shirts or whatever, 10 shirts and have them in a rotation or more, obviously more. But like,
I mean, you wear the same pair of jeans for a week.
I mean, jeans are great. Welcome to Jeans Cast, which we'll talk about when we talk about the arrangements. Jean, poor Jean. That'll be our Jean Cast. And Conrad is delightful until he's not. And then there's Henry Francis, who... What do you think of Henry, Will?
Don't like him. But
Okay.
then it doesn't bother me that much because at this point I don't like Betty.
You don't like Becky, your significant girlfriend, for over a year now.
I just, yeah, and I'm like, yeah, he deserves her.
They deserve each other.
They could be happy together, flying off. Yeah, do whatever you want. I don't care anymore. Because in the past, I would. I mean, it really was annoying at first. I'm like, oh no, I don't care that Don's had many affairs before. Any affair, regardless, is just really sad to see. And I don't do this because it's sad telly, and I don't like sad telly. But then at this point, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just do not care.
Yeah, it is. I think people like to write off the show and say, like when we feel bad for Don, it's like, oh, why are you feeling bad for him? He's a cheat and he's a drunkard and all this. And I go, no, I don't think there's a big difference between glorifying what Don's doing and writing a three-dimensional character that's performed well and written so beautifully that we feel for them no matter what they do. Because in our lives, there are our close friends, like that time when you killed that cat. It's not a real thing. But, you know, there are close friends that we have in life. I've fortunately never been in this sort of situation yet, but close friends in life where they do terrible things and you sort of have to reckon with the great affection you feel for these people, or loved ones or whatever, the great affection you feel for these people and the things that they do. And this is the grey matter that we all live in. You know, nobody's a Boy Scout. I may never have cheated on anybody, but I'm sure I have a litany of foibles. That'll be our next top 10. Worst things about Tom. But I think I'm happy to give season standout to Sal. What would be your...
I would agree. I mean, I could put Jared Harris in every time.
Well, this is the thing. Maybe I'm showing my cards too early. But Lane is with us. Lane is still with us. And
he's still with us. He's one of the family now.
Is he?
Yeah, they've made him partner, haven't they? And he's
as in on the show. I thought you meant like I don't know. He was in The Crown or something. The way that you were saying the family.
Oh no, dear, oh dear.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. These slippers are terrible. They're not terrible. Mum, if you're listening, which you won't be, these slippers you bought me as a Christmas gift are busting already.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's the slippers. I think it's your fat toes.
Oh my God. This is just... Well, all right then.
Yeah. I should get slippers. My feet are freezing.
You should. They're great. It's like shoes indoors. Well, what was your favourite Don episode? No, we'll build up to Don. What was your favourite Betty episode?
It was episode. It was the fog. It was the fog.
I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'll give her that. Yeah. What was your favourite Joan episode?
My favourite Joan episode was Guy walks in to an advertising agency.
Absolutely excellent choice. I'm actually
Thank you.
I'm gonna give him that. However, honorary Joan Award for Gypsy and the Hobo for hitting Greg over the head with a vase.
Yes.
Because how did we end season 2, Will? Your big guess was, I want Joan to get not revenge, I want justice for Joan, or whatever you said. Again, let's talk about real life. And they're now married, and the marriage is okay at best and terribly manipulative at worst.
I mean, I just hope he has to go away to fight now. To war.
Well, yes, no, he does. Because he said he's gone. Yeah. Wow, yeah, great stuff.
Oh, but we see Roger and Joan reunite at the end when they're sat there doing the numbers, and he's like, I can't read your handwriting, and he's just being Roger. She's being Joan.
Classic Roger. You know what my hot take is? Why the hell? I guess John Hamm has a bigger career, obviously has a bigger career than John Slattery. Why has John Hamm and Roger Slattery not been in more movies since Mad Men? Because for years, people said, they're in Mad Men, they're in a studio show, they can't do it. Well, it's the reason that John Hamm couldn't do Gone Girl. John Hamm was the first attached for Gone Girl, but it was the middle of season 7, and Matthew Weiner said, not with the final season. You can't be doing... Because usually that can happen. Like Ed Helms on Hangover would film Office episodes in the day, then fly out on like 6-hour flights
to do Hangover.
Which
is why, I mean, the producers and the writers got really angry, and they just ruined his character in the end, which I'll never forgive them for. Out of anger.
It is angry. And then so I don't know why John Hamm and Roger Slattery,
they're just bad actors.
Oh yeah, they are. Well, have you seen this show? I mean, Jesus Christ, God. Your favorite Pete episode? Mine's Souvenir.
Mine is also Souvenir.
Very good.
Just for that ending.
Your favorite Peggy episode?
I've not written this one down.
Peggy's a slow burn this season, and it does have that incredible payoff in Shut the Door and Never See.
Yeah, but I think it might be when she's doing marijuana.
Oh, that is a good episode. My Old Kentucky Home. My name is Peggy Olson, and I want to smoke marijuana.
Yeah.
However, I'll also nominate 723 for getting it on with Duck.
Yeah.
Wow. My favorite Roger episode is also the Gypsy and the Hobo for his wonderful reunion with the Caldecott Farms. That's just really fun to say, the Caldecott Farms lady, and him getting hit on, but he's with Jane, and he's quite happy with Jane. By all accounts, they're still pretty good marriage. And Don is obviously your number 10, the Gypsy and the Hobo. But we'll get to that very soon. And our final mini category is favourite concluding use of a song.
There's only one answer for this.
Okay. Right. I've actually ranked them because I'll be very quick. Number 7, Where Is Love at the end of Gypsy and the Hobo.
I sang along because
I did too.
Famously got called back for the role of Oliver twice and got rejected twice.
Who did you end up playing?
I was just an orphan, and I refused to take part in the second one.
No, but you stood your ground. 16 Tons, 723, that entire episode is just about him selling his soul, and that's what that entire song's about. Beautiful. Souvenir ending with There's a Small Hotel. Again, delightful. I love a bit of Rose and Heart. Hey, Woody Guthrie, I wrote you a song. Love a bit of Dylan. And so Song for Woody is beautiful. A song about passing on and generations, and that's perfect for ending. Guy walks into an advertising agency with little Jean. Then, okay. I don't know which it is. I've got, right.
I mean, you've already said mine.
Oh, have I? Okay. Well, my number 2 is The End of the World,
Yes.
The End of the Grown-Ups. Absolutely
Hmm.
breaks my... I legitimately wept for a good 5 minutes.
Oh, you.
What do you mean? Do you not cry at anything? You cried at About Time.
I can't remember it. I don't think I've ever cried.
Full stop. Here's a glimpse, a really big glimpse behind the curtain. Maybe I'm at the depression point of just, not feeling anything, because I haven't cried in a while. The only times, I had a drunk cry a week before last, where a party was just dull, so I was a bit inebriated, and so I just came home and cried. But then I got dressed again. I was like, what's the point in crying? And then I went back to the party. But then was watching Mad Men.
I can't cry on my own.
Oh, so it's completely performative.
It's attention seeking. Yeah. I do it for people to comfort me.
I guess that level of comfort does break the final bow, and you're like, oh, here it comes, and then yeah. Hey, would it go for our road to a song? However, number 1 is our concluding song, not just of Shut the Door and Have a Seat, our concluding song of the entire season, Roy Orbison's Shadow Rover.
That was my number 2. My number 2. I've got 16 tons, number 1. I think that's just great. I think that's... And it's just all... you're like...
Some people say a man is made out of mud. And he's just trudging up those stairs.
Yeah. It's the juxtaposition of the song and the scene that I thought,
that's great and sad. But I think Shadow Rover is, as you were talking about, we're priming up for a reboot, it seems.
Yeah.
The lyrics, in the future you'll find a love that lasts. It's quite an optimistic end, when we'll get to Shut the Door and Have a Seat, which is coming up soon. Will,
hello.
What do you have at number 5?
At number 5, I have 723.
723, which was one of my cuts. And I don't know why it was one of my cuts. Well, no, I do know why it was one of my cuts, because this is so hard right now. It's unbearable to cut great episodes. What did you like about 723? Well,
I thought it was fantastic. I just think I'm just reading. I mean, first of all, it ends with 16 tons. You can't argue with that.
Betty on a fainting couch and Don coming in with a bust nose going, I signed it, and her not caring, and then going up the stairs. Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that scene alone took it for me, I think. But no, obviously the whole eclipse stuff is nice. The bit where she's like, if you need help, ask your dads, and that whole little conversation they have is great. Yeah.
And the entire conceit of the episode is something we haven't really seen before. It's the way that Matthew Weiner described it was he wanted to tell 3 short stories. And so we have Don picking up, dealing with this contract, and which has been looming over Don the entire time. And again, Bert, very manipulatively. Would you say I know something about you, Don?
Yeah.
Did you see that coming? Did you think that Bert would play the dick card?
I didn't, because when Pete did the whole, his real name is Dick and all that, and he goes,
who cares?
Who cares? So I'm thinking, that's why it shocked me.
But he's a businessman, Will.
He is.
He has immense leverage of an unparalleled nature. I fucking love this show. The amount of, I think somebody needs to make a supercut after all 7 episodes of me just muttering to myself, this is the best show ever made. I love this show. We have, Don getting just completely bamboozled by 2 drifters. Peggy and Duck getting it on. I want to tear your clothes off with my teeth. And his even better line, I can smell liquor on your breath. Sorry, I love the taste of liquor on you. I can't remember the line. But it's like, I love the taste of liquor on you. Because obviously he's a struggling alcoholic, and just the taste of liquor on somebody's lips can do something for him. The glorious Betty. So, did the Betty in the fainting couch do anything for you?
It started the hatred. I mean, firstly, because this is obviously the gentleman makes her buy it, doesn't he? He takes her shopping, and
he's like, I used to sell stuff like this.
But it's. I mean, put it in another room. It's awful. If we're going to talk interior design,
this is your big thing, Will. Interior design. Were you the old woman that goes, well, if you're going to tell people, you don't tell them that it was me.
Yeah. If I took a Mad Men, which Mad Men character are you quiz? Mine would come up with, you are
old real estate woman.
Real estate woman.
Don't do any of those quizzes yet, Will, because there's new people.
I'm sure there'll be spoilers. Yeah. I'm staying away.
Good, Will. Stay away. And hitting on Miss Farrell. And again, there's sort of another slow burn. I say slow burn. Another big thing with this season is the matter of Peggy wanting to be seen as more than just a secretary. You know, she keeps wanting a bonus. And this is another episode where it comes into play. Very good stuff. My number 5 is, my number 5 is not your number 7. It's My Old Kentucky Home.
Yes.
We've still not had any crossovers. And we, unless that's there and that's there, then we won't. So we'll see. So there are still 2 possibilities for a crossover. But we'll see.
We're not having a crossover, Tom.
Oh, okay. Okay. But I like your assertiveness. My Old Kentucky Home. Well,
hello.
We live in a world where certain episodes of certain television series are being looked at again and, by all accounts, lifted whole from streaming services.
Yes.
There was a push for My Old Kentucky Home to be removed, and it was rightfully shut down by everybody.
Yeah. A question I have, because this, as soon as obviously the warning came up.
What were you watching it on?
I watch it on Prime.
Right. Okay.
Because it's all free for me on Prime. Well, not free. I pay for Prime. But it's all included with Prime. Every series of Mad Men. And I thought, had Prime put this on, or did this come out with the original?
No, of course not. No.
Because what Prime seems to suggest was when they made these episodes, then it was fine, like Fawlty Towers.
Yeah, I've seen this. It's the same Sky one. Whereas, obviously, this has been made to acknowledge this. You know, we are in this entire episode has 3 parties on Easter Derby, Derby weekend, as we call it, Easter, I believe. Yeah. I don't know how that works, I think. And the main one is this exclusive party at this all-white old club. This is the last vestige. In 1963, you probably wouldn't get away with doing full My Old Kentucky Home routine in blackface at some of these more open clubs nowadays. It wouldn't, it wouldn't happen. It has to be at this old place, members only, unless you're throwing a party, and you have to sign the list and all that jazz. And for me, it's one of those things where we're obviously, it's not for humor, it's not pointless, it's completely justified and completely dealt with well. And
it's not glorifying it at all. You see the reaction it gets.
Yeah. And even the happy reactions or the humorous reactions, you're going, oh God, can you imagine finding this knockout funny? And it's another thing with Roger. This is something we do repeatedly. And we've seen it from like Red in the Face, where we're like, oh no, I liked Roger. Why is he hitting on Betty?
Yeah.
Oh no, I liked Roger. Why is he doing a full blackface routine?
Yeah.
Oh no, I liked Don. Why is he homophobic? I liked Joan. Why is she angry at the interracial relationship Paul was in? And this is the reality that we're dealing with again. And I think it's a great scene. I think it's a great scene. And it sets the scene for the episode very, very well. Also, we have Peggy smoking marijuana, and that whole Paul and the Tiger Tones.
That's
Hello, my darling. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime girl. Did you like all of that business?
I as you know, I adore anything musical theatre-y.
Yes, this is true. And also another great aspect of the episode is Joan being a homemaker and doing the best party she can for all of the doctors and their wives, and getting the advice, don't get pregnant, in front of the pregnant woman. Going, no, I told her the same, but she didn't listen to me. Don't get pregnant. This is the worst thing you can do. And obviously, this is the ghost of Christmas future, because all that's going to happen this season repeatedly is Greg is clearly not that great a doctor. You know, he's not just a fucking rapist piece of shit. He's also a terrible doctor. And so their perfect life or whatever that she's lied to herself and had to come to terms with, she's not even going to get that, which is truly tragic. Lovely interactions with Jane at the party. That's the clincher of the episode, is that she reveals, because obviously Jane was Don's secretary during the split after the Heineken party, and she said, I didn't know what to say. I didn't, so she knew. And she goes very drunkenly, I'm so glad you got back together. I knew you would. And Betty is gone like a shot. And then Jane accidentally grabs Don's buckle. And that just does nothing for Roger and Don's relationship.
Yeah.
Great episode. Great episode. Yeah. I was going to say, however, the best part of the episode, without a shadow of a doubt, is Pete and Trudy dancing.
It's great. It's out of nowhere, and it's very not Mad Men, and suddenly it's a proper dance. And the best thing about it is Pete like giving Roger the eyeballs the whole way. Like,
well, this is the thing, is that this is the sort of thing that you would know at this time.
Yeah. Certain
people, you'd have dance classes. We were watching Doubt, which is set in the 60s, and they have a dance class because they need to learn the mambo. That's how dancing works back then. Instead of all this bumping and grinding and, I've got my hands, I'm just going to do this. Oh, God. I'll tell you, I have much better nights at nightclubs sitting in the corner alone. That's a lie. I don't. That was fun. Will, what's your number 4?
My number 4
is the arrangements.
It begins with the word shut. It shut the door. Have a seat.
Right. Well, we won't be talking about that. And we won't be talking about my number 4, which is guy walks into an ad agency. I'm a good guesser, aren't I? And my number 3 is... Oh no, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is My Old Kentucky Home.
Okay.
No, that's incorrect.
That's a lie.
That's a blatant lie. My number 3 is The Arrangements.
Okay, let's talk about The Arrangements then.
So this
is my number 10. Actually, Will, my number 10 is your number 3, and your number 10 is my number 3.
Very nice. Which one's better?
certainly the gypsy and the hobo, but we'll talk about that in a minute. The arrangements, why don't you, because this is sort of an episode that I think is very, very good, but it was, happily placed at number 10. But why did it work so well for you?
Yeah, well, I think it was that you've got obviously the whole, it's very Gene centered, and you've got that awful revelation at the end. But I really liked the whole relationship of what the child
Sally.
I really enjoyed Sally this episode, and that's why I enjoyed it, because
I was not anxious. I was kept up all night about it, because you've got a big thing for kid actors. In that you just, I think you could name the child performances you enjoy on 3 fingers. Like, I don't know. So I've always thought that Kiernan Shipka as Sally Draper is sensational. You know, Bobby changes 4 times. We're going to get our next Bobby next season, I think. Or does the other one stick around? I can't remember. But they just looked on very, very, very well with Kiernan Shipka, and she grows into a marvelous young actress. And we see the roots of it here. She's brilliant. You're lying. Why are you laughing? She's got a little bit of a lisp in her young age. And no, I completely agree. I think she's absolutely sensational. It was very funny listening to the audio commentary, because they had her on, and Matthew Wan was like, "What are you thinking in this scene?" Goes, "I was just thinking she's really angry." She's wonderful. Sally, the Sally Jean relationship, and the way that then bleeds into Guy walks into an ad agency with the doll and the ghost of Jean. Just marvelous, as you say. Terrific.
Yeah. Great stuff.
It's a very sad episode. However, I guess I like to look at the episodes as a whole. So the whole Peggy buying her mum a laptop, a TV.
Wow. They do serious research for this show.
Peggy buying her mum a TV is, again, interesting. There's no bad episodes in this ever.
Sure, just a quick, admittedly, this must be here by mistake. I will move this down, ranking wise.
Okay, this took a turn.
Revelation. We've not seen a priest at all, have we? This series.
No, nor will we ever see a priest.
Whoa!
See, this is how the show. This is it's an incredible show. Did you? Because you were fully in. You thought there was going to be a love triangle between Pete, the priest, and Peggy.
The 3 Ps.
But Peggy's a career woman. She'll, a quick blowjob or whatever with that guy, and she's a career woman. She's focused on her career. It's not that she won't have love interests in the future. It's not that she doesn't enjoy the company of a man, but it's of no interest. And also, bad guy, creepy fucking guy, and horrible to her.
Yeah.
For the little one onward, for the little one.
Yeah.
And then in mediations in emergency, the whole thing of, I think I was brought to this town to help you. You need to face what you've done. It's just a prick. I would hate it if she got with him. I know that I'm talking about in real life people, bad people and all this jazz, but horrible. So were you relieved? Were you happy? Were you, how were you, when did you notice? When did you click that there wasn't going to be a priest?
This morning. 2 days after going, there wasn't a priest. Just...
Yeah, there was no Colin Hanks. It was probably off doing, no, not Fargo. I can't remember when the first season of Fargo came out, but he's obviously great in it. The arrangements, yeah. So you're saying that this is here as a mistake?
Yes. Well, the way I rank mine is I have a list, and I'll just go, Was that better than the last episode I've seen? Yes or no? And so
Ah.
far along the line, obviously it's an early episode. I will have gone. I can't really remember. I can't really compare that to the other. What happens? Yeah, it goes there.
Okay, that's fair enough. I guess I start at number 1 and then I just go down. But that's a good way of ranking. Intriguing.
Yeah.
Well, it's locked in for you, but we'll see where it comes out in the wash in the final lay of the land.
Yes.
My number 3 is your number 10. It's The Gypsy and the Hobo. I'm going to not say why I like it. Why is it your number 10?
Why is it my number 10? Basically confronts him about his identity theft.
This is the big confrontation.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to give you a freebie at this very moment.
What do you mean a freebie?
We can lock in Gypsy and the Hobo at 3, and we can lock in the arrangements at 10. Okay, the arrangements is now locked in. It's our official number 10, and the Gypsy and the Hobo is our official number 3. I like it when that happens. I like it when a plane comes together. That just sits better now, doesn't it? So we've got a Gypsy and a Hobo, and who are you?
Halloween.
Where is love?
Yeah.
Beautiful ending. Who are you meant to be? Again, could be painfully cringy, but it's not. It works so well. Let's start off before we get to the big reveal of Dick. Let's start with Roger's subplot, which is the rekindling.
Sorry, it's Dick and Roger. I am a child.
Dick. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about in Souvenir was Pete going. Was Pete? You prick. Was Pete going to the dress shop and finding Joan? Because at that point, there's been a couple of episodes, and we've not necessarily forgotten about Joan. But actually, at the end of Guy Walks Into an Ad Agency, did you think that was it for Joan?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah, probably not. But.
Well, because at that point, I thought the priest was coming back in a couple of series.
Okay, true. Gypsy and the Hobo. Yeah, so Joan is in this episode trying to get a job, and she rings on Roger, and as we know, we love anytime.
It's great. They're meant to be.
Okay, Sarah. But for the most part, I very much enjoy our addition in this episode, Annabelle Mathis, played by Mary Page Keller, who is the love interest for Roger, and a bit of temptation. Did you think that Roger was going to cheat on Jane?
Yes.
It's a good man, is Roger. Cheats on his wife, but not his new wife. He sticks by his guns, and he's a good guy by all accounts. I love the line, "There's no way that you didn't watch Casablanca and think of me."
Of course you did.
Yes, I do love Casablanca. But more importantly, is there a better moment in TV history? Yes. But is there a better moment this season? No, fine, I'm going to stick by this. Is there a better moment this season than Don and Suzanne in the car, parked outside? Don goes in to get some money, and then, Dad! Is there a better moment in goddamn cinema?
Because you can't really take the rest of it seriously, even though Betty admits she doesn't love him. You've got all of this, and the whole time you're thinking, she's still in the car.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't take it seriously? Do you think that's stupid? You can't take it seriously because
then
you have the.
I'm saying you're distracted.
You're distracted. Yeah, it's an incredible ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
And then that horrible, haunting moment. The sun's going up. no, sorry, the sun's setting. No, the sun's going up. She's waited overnight and getting out of the car, and brutal. But Betty, in a sensational, what can only be described as riding outfit, the green and her hair's bobbed, and I don't know, she's got dark jeans and boots, and she's ready for war. You know, she stayed up the other night in the colour blue with a glass of red wine and her gown on.
Great idea.
It is a great idea.
I haven't had red wine in a while.
Get some. And she was waiting for him, but no. And Don immediately is on the back foot. He's like, okay, I've just forgot something in the car. A grown woman. No, I left something in the car. And he's like, no. You can get it later. And then it starts. And I guess you could say, well, no, actually, I don't need to argue about it being at your 10. But bit by bit. And as much as it is the big blowout that we've been expecting, it also takes its time. You know, we've both been in huge arguments, I have no doubt, huge relationship arguments, presumably. Or are you still in the honeymoon period?
I just try not to have arguments. I usually just go, oh, okay.
Oh, I bet she loves that.
She does.
And that sounds like my version of sure. Which for everybody out there, do it if you want to see the red eyes of a bull. There is no more incendiary word than sure. God, terrible. For you ladies out there, if you want a guy who's actually, I'm pretty good in relating. I am good in relationships. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, it'd be weird. I mean, I know she's not listening because I look at the not who's listening, but I look
at everyone who
have her computer tapped. No, but like I look at for how long people are watching. So unless she's watching for like 30 seconds, but I always thought, like, what if? I mean, she likes Paddington too.
Who doesn't know? Who doesn't?
Very good answer. Okay, let's talk about it now. I mean, I guess it's just the final nail in the coffin, but is Betty completely out of order, leaving Dom for all of this?
Right. I would say yes, but if you look at the build-up, you could say that any slight thing could tip it over, because obviously we're at this point anyway. Obviously, I would say, oh, he's done far worse stuff, and she should be accepting that she should be asking, oh, are you okay? What's happened? Why have you done this? Not why have you lied to me? Those questions come a few days after you speak about it, but obviously it's that build up to this point. This is the final nail in the coffin, as you said.
And then I think she understands how big a thing this is when he tells her about Adam. It's like, I couldn't risk what I have with you.
Yeah.
And suddenly she realizes, oh wait.
Because what was annoying for me was like, oh, so you were married to another woman, and she wouldn't let him explain. And in most scenarios, oh, I can explain. But no, he genuinely can explain, and it's and it's because obviously we've met her, we've been to California, and we know they're just really good friends, and they've helped.
We know that
through,
If he said, "I'm really good friends with her," is that oh, drop my pen. But counterpoint, I say let him crash. No, counterpoint. X, unnamed X, I was going to say number 3, but it's number 1. And remains that way. But unnamed X, this was like a huge debate. She was like, of course she would leave him, even if he didn't cheat. That's the worst thing you could do. This is more than your average lie. I don't. I'd love to get a forum.
Yeah. I mean, I think after discussing it, and it depends. It's down to the motivation. Why has he done this? And if you find out, oh, it's because he killed a few people and he's on the run. Yeah.
I'm sure he does think that he killed that guy, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does think he killed Donald Draper.
He blames himself for Adam, for Don Draper. Yeah.
Donald Draper. Dick Whitman, what are we going to do with you? Oh, Anna. No Anna this season.
No Anna.
We do.
No need for Anna. No,
not this season, I don't think. She's a bright light. That was very vague. However, and I do think it just comes to this incredible conclusion with Gypsy and a hobo, and who are you supposed to be? Fucking incredible. That's our first lock-in after some after some discussion. So we don't have any similarities. I'm quite shocked at your number 2. I'm not shocked at your number 1.
Oh.
And I can agree, and I won't agree, but I'll agree. Lock in.
So you know what my number 1 is?
I think I, or do I not?
Okay. All right. Well, what do you think my number? Oh no. Well, continue.
Your number 2.
Yeah.
Must be Out of Town.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a real bad. Oh my word. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. So, let's just talk about it now. So your number 1 is Out of Town. Your number 2 is Guy Walks Into an Ad Agency.
Yeah.
My number 2 is The Grown-Ups. Let's talk about that now. Grown-Ups you had at number 6.
Yeah.
JFK time.
It's time for JFK. I completely forgot that Oswald was shot as well. Completely forgot. Yeah.
Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah. What an incredible moment. That's the thing. My friend Finn, previous guest Finn, came in to pick up some earphones or whatever, and I was watching it, and I said, "Come here, Lee Harvey Oswald's just gonna get shot," and he was like, "It's set in the '60s," and I was like, "Yeah." And I was just thinking, like, can you even imagine watching this live? Because you're right. I mean, I've not forgot because I'm a fucking JFK weirdo. But Lee Harvey Oswald getting shot by Jack Ruby, that was fully live.
Yeah.
I just think it's an incredible piece of television. I think as it does through its entire series, it blends metaphor with real life stuff, with where the position our characters are in. And there is no greater tragedy than the JFK assassination. Obviously, there's 9/11. No, you could probably say 9/11. However, I think 9/11 came after JFK.
It did come after JFK. It came about 40 years after.
No,
JFK.
I know, but what I'm saying is it came after Vietnam, came after JFK. JFK was after the wars. Everybody thought it was peacetime.
Yeah.
JFK, I've always maintained, was like a killing of innocence. I know that sounds elaborate, and I know that sounds, oh, look at me, but that's how it felt. And I think that this episode does an excellent job of it. And also Roger's daughter's Margaret wedding.
Yeah.
Terrible look.
Is Pete very Republican?
Well, he's we don't really know, do we? He's very conservative with his opinions about black people, as we found out in the television episode, as Roger very quickly comments, "Oh, here he is, Martin Luther King. What are you doing here?" Which is a funny line.
Very conservative, did you say?
Yeah, very conservative.
Oh.
Republicans are the... No, I don't mean conservative. I mean liberal thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always...
I guess it's just as businessmen were very Republican.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's very economy driven, is that side of politics.
and yeah, and JFK, Pete, and Trudy just sit and watch. You're not going in today, I know, but you're going in tomorrow. What? You know, because life continues. This is, and that's obviously the beauty of those final moments with Peggy, is that Peggy has gone about working because she wants to work hard, and she'll just come into work, and Don comes into work because he has nowhere else to go. And it's a beautiful meeting of these two characters, and phenomenal piece of television. And obviously this episode has, and I think it just, as much as, you know, opinions on Betty, I think her final coming to her senses moment here of, no, I don't love you at all, and going to see Henry and going, this is what we have to do. We are leaving. I'm leaving him.
Is that when he tells her that he wants to marry her as well?
Yes. Well, that's the only way that they could have done it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it Shut the Door and Never See, or this one where he has the conversation with the lawyer?
That's that's Shut the Door and Have a Seat.
Yeah, and he goes, well, you know, I don't know if I could prove it, but he's not been faithful. And you go, well, it wouldn't matter because of you guys. And go, excuse me, and they go, I'm sorry, Mrs. Draper. Phenomenal. And yeah, that bitter, sad conclusion. Powerful episode. That's all I can say. That's my number 2. That was your number 6. Your number 2 is Guy Walks into an Ad Agency. That's my number 4.
Okay.
It's the lawnmower episode.
It is. It's great. It's great.
Famous. And you know what? You can say what you want about the show being boring or whatever, which you didn't say outwardly, but you were, well, no, you did actually in the first season.
Yeah.
But
no, well, this is, as I'll just, before you say anything, I'll repeat myself. Again, this is an example of standard episodes with that added sudden boom. Like, without the lawnmower, this is just, I would say, it's a typical Mad Men episode. Throw the lawnmower in, right? Okay, we got something now. This is me. I'm like one of those crazy American producers who a British show comes over. Yeah, but what if there was a lawnmower that came and chopped the guy's foot off at the end? Now that's television. Yeah, that's me.
I think it's just an ingenious setup because, I mean, I've done how many watches now? I don't know. So I've sort of forgotten. But did you really, really believe that good-looking guy was going to be a new character? Because I think you do. I think you're like, okay, this is the new season regular. Whether he'll be gone by the end of the season and Don will have gotten rid of him, who knows? But yeah, great stuff. And you do believe, you do seriously believe.
Well, it's because he gets a proper intro, doesn't he? He gets the war, intro. And he gets the,
and that incredible board meeting.
Yeah,
Roger's not even on there.
Yeah,
that's right, and they draw it on. and yeah, the payoff is, of course, Lois, vroom vroom vroom, comes out of nowhere, incredible, and Joan snap into action because obviously the other part of this is that Greg. She is about to leave her job and the whole bon voyage Joan. So she said she's leaving. You can't go back on your honor. You're a married woman now. There's no way in hell you're going to say, well, actually, we don't have enough money. Can I come back? And so she's going to have to find a job at the dress shop, which we will come to later. This is smaller than Trudy. I thought she would have been a size 6. Great moment. It's an iconic. I do dare say it's an iconic piece of television. Talk to any. It's the GIF. It's it's everything. It's and I can finally now use this GIF to you, Will. Leslie Linklater won the Directors Guild Award for her work on this episode. This is just terrible IMDb trivia. The title is a play on what usually begins as a joke. For example, a man walks into a bar, or, more famous, a horse walks into a bar? Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
And also, you know, did you think we were going to not have Lane anymore?
Yeah.
And I think that's what sort of breeds the atmosphere. And as we'll find out with Sal, and as you just found out, and with the priest, there is the distinct possibility that we may never see these people again. And it's real life, and that's what makes the show work. I feel like I just went to my own funeral. I didn't like the eulogy. Wonderful, mate. He has some great stuff coming up.
But you can compare that to Chicken Run. Oh, my whole life just flashed before my eyes. It were really boring. I mean, that's that. You compare them both. They're both the same thing. But one's
Exactly the same
by a
thing.
knitting chicken.
Well, I'm going to be selfish. We're going to talk about your number one first. To sort of, no, to subliminally enter into the equation that Shut the Door and Never See is the best episode.
I thought this was. I watched it. I thought. I mean, first of all, what a series opener! The best series opener so far.
Yeah.
I thought this is just. If I was to show anyone, introduce them to Mad Men, I would show them Out of Town. I just felt like this was the ultimate Mad Men episode, and this really felt Mad Men to me, which is why I was like, yeah, this has got everything going for it. It's a bit of everything.
But you'd give away the Sal stuff straight away.
No, he's only in it for 3 series.
I don't think. I think fair enough. I understand your point. I don't think the Sal stuff would land if you hadn't seen season before. Yeah, but it's an interesting thought exercise. Yes. Opens up with some great Dick Whitman flashbacks.
Yeah.
And we, you know, really get a good image now. We meet his mother, his biological mother at least, and her terrible demise. And I'm going to borrow this.
That his real mother is a prostitute.
Well, no, we knew that.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah.
I've not been paying attention ever.
Yes, no, yes, his mother's a prostitute who died in childbirth and then had to give the baby to
yes.
Very, very good stuff. It has to be said. Again, bringing us into this world perfectly, which sets us up for a beautiful moment when he's with the blonde woman, the aerostess, and it's my birthday. Because obviously he has a real birthday, and then he has his Don Draper birthday, which he has to pretend, and that's his birthday. We'll see a bigger birthday party as our opening to season 5. We'll get there when we get there. And very, very thoughtful, touching stuff. But however, the centerpiece of the episode is that incredible fire escape moment.
And then just looking over.
And then, okay, put yourself in your seat 10 days ago or whatever. What did you think Don was going to say on that plane when he said, "Can I say something to you?"
I mean, I think he was going to address the facts that he was homosexual, but I thought they were going to have a man-to-man chat saying, "Hey, that's fine. That's great."
Well, I think this is the closest that they could ever get to that. He's not going to say. I don't think. I think Don is saying, "I'll never mention it. You're safe with me. Here's an idea about a raincoat and a guy exposing himself," which is a bizarre ad, but obviously fits the symbolism of you've exposed yourself to me.
And I'm your raincoat.
And I'm your raincoat, and you're my man. Anything else that's put Out of Town at the top for you, Will?
I mean, we say hello to Lane, which is wonderful.
Hello to Lane, wonderful firing of Bert Peterson.
Which is explosive, and then you've obviously got the whole tongue-in-cheek Ken and Pete. We're giving
yes,
you the position.
very good, very good.
And that it was just very. It was a bit more bawdy, bit tongue-in-cheek, bit more light-hearted, and I was really into it. That's it was all, yeah. Has that made it go up in your list?
No, I think it's.
It helps you see my position.
I completely see your position, and I completely agree that it is the best season opener so far, and but it won't be. But not for long. God, you've got some season openers coming up. Woo boy!
I'm excited.
You should be.
Because I thought this as soon as I watched it, but it really makes you think. Series 1, Episode 1 is bad opener.
I think Series 2, Episode 1, because puts you in a place where you have no idea that we're going to just skip whole months and you're going to have to just pick it up as you go along. However, I think Season 1, Episode 1 is the perfect pilot. I do. I think it brings us into the characters.
You can tell it's a pilot.
Yes. You certainly can. You certainly can. Mainly because Pete's picture of Trudy is a different woman.
Yes.
But Will.
Hello. Let's talk about my number 4.
As it will now be called.
It was at number 7. So, and I moved it to number 4 just before the episode, just to please you.
You had no idea it was going to be my number 1. Did you just think, is this a prime number 1, do you think?
Well, it's the established episode 12 and 13 are the best ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you can make that argument, I guess. Yeah. We'll see. Well, we'll see when we get. Well, no, actually, next season, your little theory. But we'll get there when we get there. Very exciting. God, I love this show. This is 9.7 on IMDb. Now, that means absolutely nothing, but also means a lot. This episode won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. There's not a single exchange that isn't exciting, invigorating.
It felt completely cut off from everything we've seen before. It felt like its own separate. It really was rebooting everything. It was that cut off from everything from the past. And it almost felt Ocean's 11-esque.
Yeah, everybody was coming together.
Yeah.
Let's get the band together. I mean, the ultimate moment of that is Don kicking down the door for the art department. Peggy's in her own right, you know. Peggy, go get us some coffee.
No. Roger just goes. His
okay,
take is
this is
great.
what we're dealing with. Yeah, as you say, bringing Joan in, and just shivers down your spine. Pete and Harry in the elevator.
Yeah.
Go, Harry's here. Harry. Don't worry, we invited him, and I'm just doing some business.
No one likes Harry, as you said. No one likes Harry.
Nobody
I
likes
think Harry's great.
Do you prefer Harry over Ken?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Maybe that's just because my mind sees Ken as a strange motion capture guy, and I can't see the difference anymore.
Oh, that's what we haven't talked about. In Gypsy and the Hobo? Oh, another Gypsy and the Hobo moment we haven't talked about, when he calls up Suzanne and she's understanding.
Yes.
And he goes, only you.
We haven't talked about his time with the sex couple yet, have we?
The sex couple?
When he has a few drugs and they mug him.
Oh, in 723. We touched on it. We've not gone into it. Is there more that you want to say about the sex couple?
No, I thought it was just worth mentioning.
No, it's good. It's good. And it obviously is the reason why he signs the contract, because he's hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And he needs a bit of security now. He knows how bad it can get. Gypsy Nobo, we just talked about. Your other LA Noir, the most famous LA Noir face, I dare say, is Bill's dad from Bill and Ted. Is the Doubt. What's this face? And he's like, and he's in this. He's Achilles, the guy who fixes the light, which is really fun. But back to Shut the Door and Have a Seat. Absolutely flawless piece of television, I have to say. Knockout, absolute knockout. The final scene with Don and Peggy, which we've been building up to for all this time, is incredible. I don't know what else to say. I can only speak in. Is it superfluous in superboles? I can only speak in superboles.
Oh, superbly. Yeah, I know what that means.
I can only speak in superboles because I just think it's so incredible. And as you say, but also tandem to this, where's Dom? Dom's got to deal with the kids. He's got a divorce that he's dealing with, and Sally immediately, you're making him leave. And
she's right. She's right. Call her out. Call her out, Sally. And she's like, you did this. And I want to say, yeah, that's right. And Betty's being, oh, no, it's your father. It's your father. It's you. Yeah. It's you.
It's all you, Betty. And great stuff. And we have the ultimate payoff of that, which is the big crier for the season, which is him calling her up from the hotel. I won't make any trouble. I hope you're happy, Betty. And it's a moment of swallowing pride that we all have to face. I had to face it, not because I cheated or anything, but just not accepting defeat. But you know, gets to a point where you can't fight anymore because you know that nothing's going to change. There's only so many times that you can run against a brick wall and realize that it's not going to crumble down. And it's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Yeah, it's like how many times do you have to smack a chicken before you cook it via kinetic energy?
I thought it was going to be a chicken run joke. I thought, what the fuck is happening now?
I would never stoop that low.
Shut the Door and Have a Seat. Incredible. Will, any final thoughts on Shut the Door and Have a Seat?
Are they going to change the name? Because Sterling Cooper Draper Price is quite a mouthful.
Sterling Cooper Draper, you know what's actually, you know what's harder? Saying Sterling Cooper in front of you for 2 seasons and not being able to say Sterling Cooper Draper Price, because that's just what you call it. I think is it the 5th or the 6th season where somebody says they're like, it's too long, and so they change it to SCDP. Yeah, I know. Sterling Cooper Draper Price. You'll pick up. It is so easy. Sterling Cooper Draper Price. I think actually that's the first moment of season 4. Is we see the new officers. Oh, well, wait till you see the new office.
Officer. Oh, wow.
And
so they move out the hotel. That's spoiling.
I guess. Sorry.
You spoiled it.
I've spoilt the day in between you watch the next episode.
Yeah.
And Sterling Cooper Draper Price. I think that's how it opens, if I remember rightly. Let's do some ranking. Number 10, the arrangements. Number 9, I have The Colour Blue. Number 9, you have Wee Small Hours. I have Wee Small Hours at 7. You have The Colour Blue as one of your cuts. Okay.
Well, before anything, let's cut the fog.
Okay. So then I'll cut The Colour Blue. So we'll have Wee Small Hours at 9, which is what you had. Oh no, we go down, don't we? We start at the top and then we go down, of course. Okay, well that's locked in. Anyway, are you going to give me Shut the Door and Have a Seat?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, right, I'm going to argue with you here, Will. Gypsy and the Hobo is locked in at 3.
Yeah.
For pure iconic episode ever, I want Guy walks into an advertising agency at number 2 and Out of Town at 4.
I'll give you that.
You're a good man, Will. You can have 5, 6, and 7.
Again, I'm demonstrating my argument technique.
Sure. Listen to that agency. Out of Town at 4. Okay, so the next highest, I have the grown-ups at 2. You have it at 6. That's the next highest. I'll give you My Old Kentucky Home at 5.
Bet you will.
Okay, My Old Kentucky Home. My Old Kentucky Home. Then the grown-ups. Then it's going to be, I don't have 723, but you have it at 5, so that's locked in at 7, leaving our final choice at number 8. Do you want Out of Town? No, sorry.
Oof.
No, I know. Do you want Souvenir?
Mm.
You said you've cut the fog, so I guess it's Souvenir. Or do you want?
Yeah.
Do you want Souvenir or the fog?
Souvenir.
Okay, Souvenir locked in. Our season 3 top 10. At number 10, The Arrangements. At number 9, Wee Small Hours. At number 8, Souvenir. At number 7, 723. At number 6, The Grown-Ups. At number 5, My Old Kentucky Home. At number 4, Out of Town. At number 3, The Gypsy and the Hobo. Number 2, Guy walks into an advertising agency. And number 1, shut the door, have a seat. I feel good.
No.
yeah, true. That is a song. Well, at this part of the episode, we talk about your predictions and what you want to see.
Yeah.
What?
Prediction-wise, I think they're going to move out of the office, out of the hotel, and get an office.
That's a very good prediction, Will.
I think in a few series' time, they're probably going to shorten their name down to. Yeah. I don't know. I can't make predictions now because everything has been almost, I'd say, been closed. Everything's closed, yet opened, because you could almost see Betty's story as closed. We don't really need to know anything more about Betty.
Would you be happier if there was no Betty anymore?
As far as I'm concerned, her story in Mad Men is done.
No, we stick with Betty. Yes, we do stick with Betty, much to Will's chagrin. Well, as you say, it is a bit of a reboot, I have to say. It's exciting.
Looking forward to the what happens to what was Sterling Cooper with all of those folks running about. Is there going to be a rival business? Are they going to one by one slowly absorb their old crew? What's
oh yeah, okay, yeah. So who's okay?
I think Duck's going to go and take that over and be rival. That's my prediction.
It's interesting. It's a good prediction. It's interesting. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'm greatly enjoying these, and I get the impression that you are. It's a great joy that that this isn't torturous for you. I would hate it if by now you still were like, I'm not enjoying it. Then I would not concede, but I would not look forward. Well, no, I would look forward. I don't know.
Now you can feel how I felt during our recording of the Peep Show episode.
Well, that was depressing. That was like, because it was always just, I thought, it's just no different. Well, no, I don't know how I feel because you're actually enjoying this. Ooh, that was a bit of a thriller laugh, actually. Mad Men, season 4, dude. Shut the sea. Shut the seat, have a door.
Shut the seat.
You know. Oh God, I don't know what to say. I'm gassy. Will, finish the episode with a Mad Men quote.
Hi, the name's Draper. Don Draper.
It's not, but I like it.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba